According to the Big Bang, brothers and sisters, and according to the four prominent scientists, J. Richards, James E. Gunn, David N. Schramm, and Beatrice M. Tinley, they describe the event of the Big Bang as follows. And they say, the whole universe began from a state of infinite density. Space and time were created in that event, and so was all matter in the universe. But brothers, sisters, and friends, what does infinite density mean in the English language? It actually means nothing. It actually means nothing. So the proponent of the Big Bang theory must believe, if he's an atheist, that the universe came from nothing and by nothing. But I asked you a question, brothers, sisters, and friends. Out of nothing, nothing comes. This is why the famous Cambridge astronomer, Fred Hoyle, he says that the universe was shrunk down to nothing at all. And this is why Anthony Kenny, a professor of Oxford University, he says a proponent of the Big Bang theory, which basically means someone who believes in the Big Bang theory, at least if he's an atheist, must believe that the universe came from nothing and by nothing. But we've already agreed that out of nothing, nothing comes. Even atheists agree with this. David Hume, who was a very famous atheist philosopher, and he said, I never asserted, which means I never agreed to something as absurd that something would ever come out without a cause. So brothers and sisters, we can conclude easily, just by reflecting upon the whole universe and the origins of the universe, that there must have been a cause for this whole universe. Okay, but it doesn't mean it's God. We can argue there's a cause for the universe, but it doesn't mean it's God. Fine, I accept this argument. But let's use the Quranic method of thinking again, to reflect, to ponder and think. And what would it conclude? We'll take the following points into consideration, brothers, sisters, and friends. This cause must be one. The reason this cause for the whole universe must be one, because we don't have absolutely no evidence to say it's 2, 3, 4, 999 or 9,009,995. We have no evidence for this. So the simplest explanation is the best explanation. Also, if this cause created the whole universe, if there was more than one creator, there would have been an obvious conflict in creation itself. 2, this cause must be uncaused, which basically means this creator must be uncreated. Let me tell you why. Because if we say the cause of the whole universe was caused, then we could ask the other question. Then what caused the cause that caused the whole universe? Then we could ask the other question. What caused that cause? Then we could ask the other question. What caused that cause that caused the cause that caused the cause that caused the cause that caused the universe? Any more and I'll be rapping. Okay? So the point is, if that goes on forever, we will never have the universe in existence today. So by rational necessity, this cause must be uncaused. The third point, this cause must be immaterial, not like the creation. Because if it was like creation, then that would be equivalent of the universe creating itself. And how can the universe create itself? Because that would mean the universe was existing and not existing at the same time. Does that make sense? Can I exist and not exist at the same time? Of course not. So it must be immaterial, unlike creation. The most significant point, brothers, sisters, and friends, is that this cause must have a personality. It must be personal. Because how can an eternal cause, an eternal being, bring into existence the universe? It must have chosen the universe to come into existence. And choice indicates a will, that it wills to do things. And a will indicates a personality. So what we can conclude is that a cause that is immaterial, beyond creation, beyond the universe, so powerful, that has a personality, that is personal and not mechanical, exists. This is why the Quran eloquently summarizes this argument. The Quran says in chapter 52, or do they think creation came out of nothing? Or were they themselves the creator? Or did they create the heavens and the earth? Nay, they have no firm belief. So that's the first argument, that God makes sense of the origins of the whole universe. The second argument is that God makes sense of the fine-tuning of the universe to allow our whole existence. Think about this argument very carefully. Brothers and sisters and friends, why does the laws of nature exist? Do they exist without any purpose? To argue such a point would be totally irrational. This is why the professor, Roger Penrose, he says, there is a certain sense in which I would say the universe has a purpose. It's not just there somehow by chance. I don't think that's a very fruitful or helpful way of looking at the universe. And I would agree with Roger Penrose. I would agree with the professor. Because the very existence of our life on this universe is based upon an initial conspiracy of fine-tuning. That if certain values of the beginning conditions of the whole universe were to change, even by a hair's breadth, we would never have the universe today. Let me give you some of these examples. Let's take the expansion rate of the universe. Allah says in the Quran that the creation of the heavens and the earth, we created it with might, and indeed we are expanding it. The physicists today believe that the universe is expanding. Now this expansion rate, if it was changed, or if it differed by 10 to the minus 18 seconds, which is called 1/quintillionth of a second, we would never have the universe today. This is why Stephen Hawking, the very famous scientist, in his publication, A Brief History of Time, he agrees with exactly this point. Take another example. It's called low entropy. It might be complicated, but bear with me for the numbers. Roger Penrose of Oxford University says, in order to produce the universe resembling the one we live, the creator would have to aim for an absurdly tiny volume of the face space of possible universes. What does this really mean? How tiny is this volume? Well, this volume, brothers, sisters and friends, is 1/10 to the power of x. What is x? X is 10 to the power of 123. Practically, do you know what this means? Who has a pen? It means if I was a dartsman, say this is a dart, I would have to get the center of a proton. What's a proton? Anyone know? Scientists amongst you?
A nucleus.
Come on.
Something in the nucleus.
It's part of something in the nucleus. So it's not even, it's smaller than the atom. Okay? I would have to get the center of the proton. But wait. Eggmint. Yeah? If the whole universe was my dartboard, that's how equivalent these numbers are. So brothers, sisters and friends, we have three possibilities. Three possibilities. One, it's just there. It's physical law. It's physical necessity. Two, it's just by chance. Or three, there's a supernatural designer. Well, we can't claim it's just there. It's just by physical law. Because these values, brothers, sisters and friends, are not dependent on the laws of nature at all. This is why Paul Davies, another professor, he says, it seems that the physical universe doesn't have to be the way it is. It could have been otherwise. Two, can it be by chance? Well, we've already discussed how ridiculously high these numbers are. And I would pose the question, if a pink elephant appeared on your driveway overnight, would you say that's chance? Or 747 disappeared on your back garden in the morning? Would you say that's chance?